As you already know, I am Papa01, and this is AOS Virtual Person 2, pay-per-view number 2. Pay-per-view number 6. God damn it, I said that wrong. But before we get started with the next match, we're currently on part 2 of the Fight for Gold title challengers going for the absolute championship. So he's challenging the absolute champion. So that's the title match that's going on. We're on part 2 of it. But what we'll quickly talk about is the concept of the Fight for Gold championship. So the Fight for Gold champion, he gets to challenge whoever champion of his choosing as the very final match of the pay-per-view. Also, he is also the first match of show A, which is the first match of overall for that show leading up to the pay-per-view. So while we'll talk about that is, as I already explained countless times, that it's my version of the Money in the Bank, and the reason why it's such a good way and concept of doing it is because by winning the Fight for Gold championship, you get to skip the process of having to fight 6 matches or 5 matches leading up to getting a title shot if you go through, the regular way of getting a title or challenging for a title. Because first you have to win qualifier. That's your first thing. You gotta win a qualifier tournament. Next, you're supposed to win the 5th spot chance. That's your second obligation. Third, you're supposed to win after you become the 5th spot from winning the 5th spot chance. While you're the 5th spot, you're supposed to be in a ranking match versus the person right ahead of you who is the rank number 4, the wild card. If you're able to win that, then you move on and become the wild card with your 4th match, which is the wild card versus Hunter. If you're able to beat the Hunter, you take over his spot. Then, only then, when you're the Hunter, you get to challenge the number 1 contender in a number 1 contenders match. And if you're able to beat that, because that's your 5th match, for your 6th match, you actually get the title shot. And if you're able to beat the champion in the 1st match, you then have to beat him in the 2nd match to win the belt. And if you can't beat him in the 2nd match, it don't matter, because you're going to a 3rd match and then you'll become the champion. So altogether, if you go smooth sailing into it, it may take you 7 matches to become successfully champion. You go through a tournament, a league, 2 ranked matches, and number 1 contenders match. Then 2 matches, because you gotta become the champion. Then you have to retain the belt and win a 2nd match. So that's how you become a successful champion with a title defense. But if fate so have it, you win the 1st match, but you lose the 2nd match, but you win the 3rd match. That means it took you 8 matches to get to the title. Under that, if you lose the 1st match, that means if you lose the 1st title match, that'll just mean that you didn't become champion. You work your all the way up to the title shot, but then you didn't become champion. But now, since you're number 1 contender, you get to fight the Hunter, whoever is the Hunter, come the what's it called? You get to fight whoever was the Hunter, because the Hunter is the person who won at show C versus the wild card, and you get to fight them at show B. And then if you win that, you get another title shot, and it just go on and on like that from there. Other than that, the quickest route to the title is Fight for Gold championship, because if you win the Fight for Gold championship, you just go straight until your 2nd match will be automatically a title shot, instead of waiting. Because I said it takes 6 matches to get, it takes you winning 5 matches in a row to have that 6th match that will be for the title, going the normal route. But also, what you should know is that takes 3 pay-per-views. You gotta go through 3 pay-per-views for that. So when you're just winning the number 1, when you just become the 5th spot by winning the 5th spot chance, that current pay-per-view that's next on pay-per-view, wherever pay-per-view that is, you're not part of that. then you're not part of the following pay-per-view because you're just trying to get in contention to become the number one contender. Then you actually get to take on the number one contender, and once you are the number one contender, then you fight for the title. So it'll take you have to go through shows. You have to go through, there'll be 4 programs, another 4 that you have to wait through before you ever get your title shot. So you have to wait through 11 programs before you get to the pay-per-view where you'll actually be fighting for the title. So there'll be 11 programs that show A, B, and C, then the pay-per-view, then show A, B, and C, then the pay-per-view, then show A, B, and C, then finally the pay-per-view where you actually will be able to fight for the title. If you're successful and you just go straight down the line and get straight to the title. That's what I'm talking about. There's only a few people who have been able to do that, where they have to go the long way, but they was able to win all those matches in a row and go straight into title contention. And there's a few people who have bumps in the road, but once you're ranked in the division, you're not automatically kicked out of the division unless you're the 5th spot. 5th spot is the bubble. You're in the bubble if you're the 5th spot, because if you lose that 5th spot chance, you're no longer part of the division. You're out of the division. So, but if you're ranked still if you're still like the wild card or hunter, you're safe for a little bit, but you gotta continue win matches. And sometimes you'll face off with the same people and eventually they'll get you, as in the case of we just saw with the Absolute Champion not too long ago. The former Absolute Champion, he was at the top for a very long time. Him and the PW Champion, I should say, they was both at the top for a very long time, but the same people kept on challenging them and they eventually got the win and took the belt from them, you know. So that's how that happens. So with that being said, we can get started with the match. So we have, I shouldn't even have to look at that. And yeah, that was probably too long for talking, but I need to have that explained because it does have something to do with what's going on. So we have the title challenger Eno. He lost the first match to the current champion, who is DD4 Blaze. So DD4 Blaze has to win only one more match, and now Eno has to win 2 matches in a row because right now he's down 1-0. So DD4 Blaze manages to win this match, he will have successfully retained his title for the 4th straight time. This will be his 4th straight title defense, successful title defense, for his first title reign as the Absolute Champion. So that's what's going on. Sorry that took a long ass time, and we'll just be quick shotting over everything else because I took so long with that. But that needs to be said for it to be explained and understood that that's what's on the line right now with these two. And that's what's always on the line when you're facing the Fight for Gold champion. Because there's a chance that the Fight for Gold champion takes your belt and then you don't win that Fight for Gold championship match. That means you're back to the regular qualifiers and shit. Or it may put you in the 5th spot chance, but you're not in the division just yet though. No matter what, you're not going to be directly back in the division. You're going to be getting an opportunity probably to be a part of a division, but you got to win that spot. So these are the rules for the Absolute division. As you can see, just going to make sure everything's correct right here. Yada yada. That's all correct. Let's make sure it's all correct. That's all correct. This is all correct. Hardest difficulty. Alright. We get started and we're going to go straight to the match because we already saw this entire walkout with the champion challenger. So we can go straight into the match and enjoy. Sorry for the wait. As I said, DD4 Blaze is based off of AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and that was just a Styles clash you just saw right there, or the closest thing to it on this game. And back to the match. That was way better. But that was close for DD4 Blaze, man. Like, that was a close one, man. The second time I go around was close. They were both hurt, you know, but he somehow pulled it off. And when he was doing that backflip or whatever, while his opponent was on his hands and knees or whatever, when he was prone like that on the ground, I think that's what you call it, prone, whatever. That was I seen AJ Styles do that against what's the name, with in his match against Brock Lesnar, when he fought Brock Lesnar that time. There you go. Alright, I know exactly where it's at this time around. Oh crap, what the hell, man? Yeah, so that's what that was all about. That was a good match. Good hard-fought victory by the challenger. I'll go down here to make sure I did it correctly. Alright, so DD4 Blaze has his second successful title defense, and that will end this pay-per-view. Now, what I was saying is, the reason that you saw DD4 Blaze, and I'm surprised because he rarely goes for that at all, that moonsault while the person is on their hands and knees and stuff like that, is because I saw him do that against Brock Lesnar when they had their one match, the one match he had ever with Brock Lesnar. I believe that was at Survivor Series. I think that was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018 because 2019, I believe he went against Daniel Bryan. And I think this past one, he actually did he have a match at this past Survivor Series? I mean, this past Survivor Series. Because Daniel Bryan went against Brock Lesnar in 2019, I believe. Or was it? Yeah, that was 2019. Yeah, so this past, what's the name? This past one, it was Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. Oh, yeah, that's because he came back and he was doing, you know, he's always doing the Planet Earth shit, but like he had that belt. I actually like his belt better than what the hell they designed for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's belt looks retarded. Like, that's not a good belt to have. But anyway, when he had took on Brock Lesnar, this is not how he set it up, but this is the quickest way to set it up on this game for DD4 Blazers. He does this, which makes you prone on your hands and knees, and then it was actually a Pele kick that he did to Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar was trying to get up, he was on his hands and knees, and AJ Styles was the quicker one to his feet, and he just did a Pele kick while he was prone on the ground on his hands and knees. I was like, you know what? That looked like a cool move to use. So I was like, it's not a Pele kick, but a backflip or a moonsault is basically a Pele kick anyway. So that's why I have him do that. And I'm glad he actually attempted, even though it didn't do the KO damage like it should. I'm glad he attempted that, because that's just something that I got for him that's similar to, you know, AJ Styles. So I could go through the list right quick of his moves. So let's go. Like, right here, everybody knows CM Punk is known for doing the roundhouse head kick, so that's why he has that. And then right here, we can scroll down in the corner. What's this? Oh yeah, that. Right here in the corner, you already know what this is. In the corner, who has a corner move between AJ Styles, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins? The go-to one is the knee in the corner by CM Punk. It's not the same, but I like the way this lands. I like the way this knee lands in the corner versus the other knee. The other two knees, which is where they at? Damn, they further down. I think I skipped them. Where's the other knees at? These two knees. This is one. That's the other. And I think the one I select is the best one. And sometimes it does do KO damage, but he does land that. And then I got the one to the back, which is basically, you know, AJ Styles flying clothesline. Even though this is more of a forearm shot, but he's known for that as well. And then Rising, I wanted to give it the AJ Styles when, you know, this is the rebound off the ropes room move or whatever, and I wanted to give it the AJ Styles. Oh wait, that's wrong. I wanted to give it the drop kick that AJ Styles does and stuff like that, the flipping drop kick, but I want to give that KO damage because he rarely uses this. While I used to have it for KO damage, he was rarely using it. So I got the Riser one that does KO damage also. You know, he does that a lot too. So, and this was supposed to be changed to the Insaguri anyway. So, yeah. That right there. Yeah, there we go. So he could do that type of Insaguri. Yeah, because all three of them uses the Insaguri. And then you got this type of one right here, which he rarely uses, but is good as hell. And I have seen him knock people down on counters mostly. He mostly knock people down with this when he's countering, because this is also his counter move for like left-handed punches. As you know, with right-handed punches, he does this that does KO damage. So we can move on. And then as far as move goes, this is just a setup. Well, I said that backflip, that moonsault, whatever, that's what that's for. And we scroll down. What's this? Oh, the Styles Clash. It's called Pancake, a front pancake or whatever like that, but it's the closest you could get onto this game for a Styles Clash. You just don't got the arms hook or whatever. That's what that is right there. That's the Death Valley Driver, which is basically a move that all of them I have seen use. This is just the finisher I thought he should have. This is called the Samurai DDT, or Samurai Driver, my bad. Samurai Driver. And like, this is El Samurai's finisher move on this game. And then the running bulldog right here. No, that's not the running bulldog. What do I do with the running bulldog? Oh, the running bulldog is right here. This used to have blood, but I was like, you know what? Let's give him this suplex, because no other suplex on here does any type of blood damage as it is on here. So that's why I did that. It changed that around to that, because it was with this, and that's a CM Punk thing. The running bulldog, after he hits you with the knee in the corner, he'll follow up with the running bulldog. Then we'll scroll down. I have this just because I like this, because he targets the head and arms anyway. So that's why I gave him the Tiger Release suplex. And then this right here, I think Seth Rollins and AJ Styles used this before. So that's why that's on there. And then what else? What else do we got? The Insaguri is AJ Styles and Seth Rollins have, I see them do that. I'm pretty sure CM Punk has done it as well, but like, this is more so a Seth Rollins move right there. AJ Styles is just a straight up jump back towards you, which is the Pele kick, but he has done that type of Insaguri. Then I think we got a little bit more. This is CM Punk, except for it's not that swinging DDT, swinging neck breaker that he does, where he goes. If you want to know the one I'm talking about, it's the same exact style of one that what's his name uses. What's his name? Dean Ambrose does the exact same type of DDT that I'm talking about, where they go around you a couple times, then they do the neck breaker. I said DDT, I meant neck breaker. The knees in the corner. It's just the knees in the corner. And then this is from that excellent, if not one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen. It was him versus, who he was facing off when he did this. I believe it was him versus, he did this versus John Cena, and I think he also did this versus Finn Balor. But the match I'm talking about is the one versus him with Finn Balor, where he did this. what's the name? When he did this Frankensteiner. Yeah, that was cool as hell. I wasn't expecting. I was like, what are you going for up there? And then he just did that Frankensteiner. And other than that, we got the high flying moves. As I already said, this is what he did against Brock Lesnar, where he was on his hands and knees. And then I always see him doing the running knee drop, but his is more dynamic because like he switched legs when he does it. Like he'll have his right leg in front, and he'll switch around and land with the left one, or vice versa. So it's not as dynamic as the one he does, but like that's why I got on there for that. And then we move to high flying moves, and it's a mixture of all three. We have the Seth Rollins knee from off the top rope. We have AJ Styles' forearm smash. And then we have this, that's none of them. I should say that's none of them. I don't think none of them do that. I just thought it would be cool for him to be doing that. And then we got the ground moves. Frog splash, which I've seen all of them do, but more so with Seth Rollins. We have this, which I just gave to him because I thought it would be cool for him to be the one doing that. And then we have also Seth Rollins, Phoenix Splash, which he'll do to somebody on the outside of the ring. Other than that, what other moves we have? Oh yeah, diving to the outside moves. Suicide dive, a lot of them do. This is what AJ Styles used to do back in his, indie days, and along with TNA, the Spaceman. The Spaceman dive out to the ring. And oh yeah. Why is this not doing that? Yeah. I only got this, even though this is a fist drop, because it looks like the what AJ Styles he does this like when the opponent is sitting down on their butt or wherever like that, and he got them sitting on their butt, he'll do a phenomenal forearm from the outside. So like that's why this is on here. This is it looks similar to it. It's not actually one, but it looks similar to the phenomenal forearm, just the way it looks. But in the spirit of things, I'm actually gonna put that as this right here, because that hasn't worked yet, and like it takes too long, and then it puts DD4 Blaze in a bad position, so I'm just gonna put this right here instead. And yeah, that's basically like. And then you already know, only other thing that I can say that's like with any of the wrestlers is probably his taunts, because he has this taunt, Yeah, what other taunt? What's the other taunt? No, never mind. And this is just a scream. Dragon Ball Z, basically. The Dragon Ball Z scream where you just yell in the air. But other than that, yeah. And this is just from, the WrestleMania 2000. I gave him that as what he does after he wins. That combination striking. Yeah. And yeah, it's basically. Oh yeah, the rope taunt, the top rope when he's on the top rope. Yeah, that right there. I don't know which one was doing that, because I was gonna have it with the CM Punk one, but it kept on costing him when he's on the top rope. Because the CM Punk one is this, the same one as Macho Man, where's it at? Do that, yeah, right there, Macho Man type pose. That's the one that CM Punk does before he does the Macho Man elbow. But yeah, I have it as, this right here, because this is quick, and he goes immediately into whatever the hell he has to do. I wish they had more springboard moves for both standing and when they're prone on the ground. And like, what I mean by the springboard moves, like, like the springboard 450, or is it called the Spaceman Splash, where AJ Styles does the springboard 450. and like stuff like that on there. They can have it under finisher and stuff like that, because you got ones for when they're standing, you can have one for when they're prone out on the ground when you have your special. But anyway, that's basically a little bit of everything, you know, that goes on with the DD4 Blaze character. And like, yeah, it's just been a little tutorial of the moves that I have and why I always say like he's based off of this and that. The same thing can be said for a lot of things, but you can basically see it in the matches anyway. Like Chaos, a lot of his stuff is just around the same as one person, 8 also areas. Because I made this character with the purposes of him being primarily a heal, and that's why you see he's the only, like, he has the low blow as his rising move. Like his rising move is the low blow. Wait, where is it? No, that's the stunner, the counter stunner, right? No, damn it. Oh, right here. That's his rising move, the low blow. But I gave this to Chaos because like he's the main heal that's on here that I created, and like his is right here. He'll low blow him from the front or from the back, and usually he does that into a finisher. Like he'll do the low blow into a finisher. And then you know he also got a lot of moves like also areas like the rolling elbow strike, the rolling elbow strike when you come off the ropes, the drop kick in the corner that also does damage, that does KO damage in the corner right here. It's not as good as the one that he does, and then you know similar things. His finisher. Both his front finisher, the one when he's in front of you, then the one he's in the corner, both of them are, you guess it, the Brainbuster. Right here, this Brainbuster, they call it Brainbuster DDT on here. And then the one when you're on the top rope with you, the Avalanche Brainbuster, you know. My favorite move that I gave this him is like, but his go-to move is not near the Brainbusters or this, the sleeper, what's the name? What's that called? The sleeper suplex that drops you on your head. The other one is the I believe the Cobra suplex, the Cobra clutch suplex. Or this. He also got this. Oh wait, why is that taken off? I had this right here. No, this, the Hangman's DDT. This is also, what's the name? Who is that character on here that does this? K Wilder. He had did that to what's the name by mistake. He did that to who was it? Masawa, right? Yeah, K Wilder. He had did that to Masawa by mistake. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing, because it should be under their moves. Because I know the Burning Hammer is by, you know, Kenta. This guy right here, Kabashi Kenta. Yep, I believe that's his move right here. Let's see, his second finisher. Yep, the Hangman's DDT. That's what they call it. And like, yeah, that right there. That's what they call it in WrestleMania 2000. Yeah, and then Burning Hammer is by, what's the name? But what's his fin? But what is? I think Masao's finisher was supposed to be the Tiger Driver, the second one. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forget what the hell that's called. The Emerald Fusion, or something. I believe that's called. But I believe this is his go-to move though. Instead of going for his actual finisher, I think that's his go-to move. Because when we look on here, let me go to it. Because when you look on here, oh no, the 91. Tiger Driver 91 is his finisher. Okay, I thought it was the regular Tiger Bomb. The regular Tiger Bomb. I didn't know it was the Tiger Driver. I thought it was just a regular Tiger Bomb. Okay, so damn, I took a long time, but I was explaining stuff about certain characters and stuff like that. And then one last piece of stuff, you already know, he is based off of Yuri Boyka from off of the Undisputed movies, Undisputed 2, 3, and 4. And then he's from Undisputed 3. Raul Quinones, better known as Dolor the Pain. And Yuri Boyka is better known as the most complete fighter in the world. The Russian. Alright. So yeah, we could get out of here. And yes, once again, I forgot to screenshot who won because I started talking immediately after the matches. God damn. Alright, so that's what I gotta do. And now we're gonna have, because I'm not starting this shit up again for a while, because now I gotta figure out exactly what's going to be happening for show 7A, which is always the most difficult show because that's all the qualifiers, and I gotta make sure I only put people who for qualifying in qualifying matches. So now we know that he's gonna be back in this. So, oh damn. We now know what's gonna happen with this, so I could set this up right now. So we know he's a part of it. He's a part of it. And he's a part of it. Okay, so we got what's going on for this title match. And then those are still what's going to happen if such and such wins or loses. And then let me go back onto this right quick if I can see exactly how I have it set up on here for the actual game. Or did I have it set up as just a screenshot with those four? Who's this? Show 6A? Yeah, I'm trying to see how I got it set up for the match card. Pretty quick. Okay, so this is how I had it set up. Yeah. Because the lose, I believe the reason why it says this between those two is because his Eno's team was taking on, you know, the champs team and the team qualifier for the PW, for the combatants division, because they were the two teams that lost in the semifinals of the crowning of the first ever combatants champions. Yeah, so that's why we had this right here. But that's how it's supposed to be set up. So let me make sure it's set up like that right now. So got the championship. Then I can take this off, put that right there, and move this off of the screen right quick. And I'll screenshot that in a minute. Yeah, I'll screenshot this in a minute once I get back on here. Okay, so yeah, we're basically all set for this. So, but we're only set for the first match, you know, because I still got to decide who's going to be part of the one team qualifier for the Fight for Gold Championship and the one team qualifier for the Combatants Championship or team qualifier match. And then we got to figure out how many we're going to have for all the fifth spot chance qualifiers for the 6 divisions. And then, but before we even do all that, I gotta figure out how many people I'm gonna actually be able to use, because I gotta do this, figure out how many characters left for qualifiers, because I already got 7 people who are not gonna be part qualifiers, and that happens to be the former combatants champions and the title challengers for the Fight for Gold championships, who put on an excellent show and actually took 3 matches for them to lose to the champions. So they won the first match, lost the second match, and then the third one was not close because they ended up getting swept in the third one, but like it was pretty much competitive in the first two. So I was like, man, even though the third one, the champions show who they were and won it. I think these are the only really worthy team so far that ever challenged them. So like that's why I'm giving them another title shot. And yeah, but like this is basically like what I'm gonna have to do to figure out who is part of what, but all of that. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna have going on. So again, this has been pay-per-view number 6 in its entirety. We are done with this. And I also gotta do rankings. Let me see something right quick with the rankings. I did rankings number 5. Let me see how that looks. That looks like that. So let me put a new one up here right quick, because I gotta have that on here as well. So AOS BPW2 rankings number 6. And oh, what is wrong with it? Oh, it's not with an S. Yeah, it's supposed to be rankings with an S. I said rankings with an S. Yeah, that's what's messed up with it. Yep, now it's in the right spot. This is from, because I would know if all this is correct based off of one thing. Nope, I gotta do one for number. So I got 2 of them that I need to do, because what's the name is supposed to be on here as champion, because he was the champion at the show 5. I mean at the pay-per-view 5. So yeah, so I need to make a 7 as well. So let me do that right quick. I gotta do a 7 as well, and it's not gonna take nothing. It's not gonna do nothing. I gotta do a 7 one as well. So so that's probably the first thing I do is figure this out, because these are also videos that gotta be uploaded. Got these ranking videos. So rankings number 7. Yeah, so I gotta do a 6 and a 7, because the 6 is what happened at the pay-per-view 5. Because at the pay-per-view 5, we can tell that that's not correct, because at the pay-per-view 5 we have DD4 Blaze who's champion, and he had 2 title defenses to his name, because one, he beat the champion and then was able to win the belt, and I think that took 3 matches. Then he defended the belt and beat Don Fry, so that he actually has 2 title defenses already. Now he has 4, because he defended the belt against XMA, then defended again against Eno. So now he has his 4th straight title defense. So yeah, and that's how I know that this wasn't right, because it has what's the name still as champion, and we know that he just lost the belt at pay-per-view number 5. You know, he's lost the belt at pay-per-view number 5, so that's how I know that he is wrong on here. So far DD4 Blaze has been a good champion. You know, he has been able to win back-to-back title matches, but the most consistent champion so far has been Shiro, because I believe he had how many championships has he ever lost, other than the title match he lost to DD4 Blaze? Has DD4 Blaze been the only person to take the belt from him, or has somebody else had? I don't think no Fight for Gold champion has ever beaten him. I don't think so. I don't remember one beating him. But anyway, this is all that was the rankings for after show 4. After pay-per-view number 4, I should say. Yeah, so after pay-per-view number 4, this was the rankings. And then I told you that this is not for after pay-per-view number 5, because of DD4 Blaze and stuff like that. And I think I already uploaded the video for this. I gotta go look on YouTube. And I don't need this charger no more because it's at 94%. So yeah, that's something I gotta work on. I gotta go back and see who won for pay-per-view number 5, who are all the champs, and I gotta look at pay-per-view 5 and show 5C for what's the rank, for what to put for, rankings for number 6, because I forget that, even though it's not the same as the rankings, it's not gonna be the same number as the pay-per-view, because the rankings started after we had the first ever crowning championships. You hear me? The first ever crowning championships for all the divisions, because at the beginning I only had the 6 divisions. We only had the 6 divisions and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what happened. We only had the 6th division where I first got started, because I only did 6 crowning divisions. I came up with, the KO, grappling, double team, PW, MMA, and absolute. That's the first 6, and I came up all with them at the same time, and that's how I started AOS Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 promotion. But then I made both the Fight for Gold championship and the Combatants championship at the same time. I made my designs for them at the same time, but I ain't showcased Fight for Gold championship to after pay-per-view number 4, and then the same thing for after pay-per-view number 5 for the Combatants. So after pay-per-view number 4, we did the the Faction of 3, or F4G as it's called for short. And then after pay-per-view number 5, we did the Combatants Championship. That's when I did those 2 crowning things. So that's how we now got those 2 new championships. The only thing that's represented in rankings for the for the Faction of 3 and the Combatants Championships is the champions. Because we had them with a 5-person ranking. We had the the number 1 contender, Hunter, Wild Card, and what's the third one? The 5th spot. You know how many freaking people that is? For those divisions, if they were actual divisions and not just championships, they'll be freaking, one will have 15, the other one will have 20, and then you'll have an extra 35 people, and it's already 35 with just the divisions. And then it's only 36 if you add the Fight for Gold champion. So those 2, if they had divisions, will be just as much as those 6 divisions put together. So that's why we only have it for the champions. Because I need to have somebody who's going to be fighting these people. That'll be 7 people all together. You hear me? That'll be 70 people all together if those 2 had divisions as well. So instead of being 72, you have those 2 put together. That's 7. Plus those 36, that makes 43. Instead of having 71, we only got 43. So those divisions plus the Fight for Gold champion and the Faction of 3 and the Combatants. So that's how and why I do it the way I do it. And sorry this is over an hour long, but I had to talk about important things, and none of this is not talking about this stuff. Thank God. Usually it's just me rambling on about stuff I was watching earlier or stuff I've been thinking about lately. So, sorry this match is over 50 minutes, but it's all important stuff that essentially has to do with what we're dealing with the ALS division. And a little bit later, I will possibly be doing another part for Custom Robo V2, but I will be figuring out exactly who was the rankings for what happened at the show after pay-per-view number 5 and what happened at the pay-per-view number 6, those rankings, which we just did just now. Then I'll start working on the show 7A and all the challenge, what's the name, all the fifth spot chance qualifiers and the team qualifiers and stuff like that. Because the only thing we got so far is who's going to be part of the Fight for Gold Championship. We already got that down. But now we got to figure out everything else that goes with that. So I'm not even going to save that yet until I can figure out a few other things. But for now, I got to figure out the rankings for everything that happened at show 5C and pay-per-view number 5, and then the rankings for what happened at show 6C and pay-per-view number 6. Alright, so we got done with another one. We got done with another set of shows and another pay-per-view, and now we on number 7. And I'm not planning on stop doing this no time soon, but I will be taking breaks because that shit takes too long. It takes way too long for all these recordings. But I got a better system since I do wake up early in the day. That way I don't have to have work affect with doing this. You know, that's why I wake up at the time I do, and whatever time I got work, I just probably go to sleep an hour or two after getting home from work. And then if I have to, I'll look up highlights for whatever show or sport I miss. I look at the highlights for the basketball and football and hockey and stuff like that. And same thing with MMA, or I'll go into the what is it called again? I forget that I was on there earlier, and I was the other day, and I was what was that? Bleacher Report. I got it on here, I believe. Where is it at? Yeah. BleacherReport.com. But I just do this. This is all that I do. I just put in what I'm looking for, the results for, and then put Bleacher Report behind it, and it'll automatically send me to what I'm looking for. I'm usually looking for stuff for these 3. New Japan Pro Wrestling and One Championship, which is another MMA division, but another MMA promotion, I should say. But they don't just have MMA, they have also kickboxing and Muay Thai over there. And that shit's good as hell to watch too. And then, you know, UFC. I may do it for a few others as well, but like those are the main 3 right now. And then as far as highlights go for Bellator and stuff like that, I look on the Design YouTube page to look at highlights for what happened during those fights for Bellators and several different boxing things. And the same thing for PBC on Fox. And then any other ones, I'll look up the name of the fighter, and then somebody most likely has the whole entire fight for that fighter or the highlights for that fight. Yeah. So, but I forgot that Bloody Elbow is also another good one that you could look on for results for MMA and stuff like that. And I think the other one's called 4Bs, F4Gbes. And like they got people on there who cover both pro wrestling and MMA and each and every sports. But that's what Bleach Report does already. They cover all the sports as well. But Bloody Elbow is another one that covers all sports as well. Bloody Elbow. Yeah. And then the one I just mentioned, 4Bs and stuff like that, F4Gbes, they cover it as well. Alright. So, oh damn. Alright. I keep on saying alright, but I still haven't closed this out. So let me go back on to the pay-per-view number 6 thing, and then we could close this out for be on something that makes sense. Okay, let's go into the fight card. And yeah, I'll just have it cast on this, or cast it all the way down here at the. You know what? I should turn it the, you know, what they call it, portrait way, instead of having it on landscape to have everything showcased. But like, yeah, like that's everything. We're all done. I'll just do like this a couple of times, bring it up and down right quick. Alright, until the next one later. And the next video will be coming up soon, and that'll be part 17 for Cusarobo V2, the Grand Battle. I'll be doing part 17, which basically is another tournament on that game. And then it's me playing the game. So it's, you know, walkthrough, but it's me playing the game. But it's not really a walkthrough. It's just me going to tournaments. Not really a story mode behind it. It's not really like a story behind it. Just me going to random tournaments, and I gotta get a certain number of points in order to get the gold, silver, and bronze trophies and stuff like that and whatnot. Pretty fun. And I'm not sure, but if I feel like it later on, maybe doing, what am I on, week number 9? Or no, I believe, yeah, I'm on week 10 with NFL Blitz 2000. I believe we're taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and you know what that means. Deontay Culpepper and fucking Randy Moss. They beat me the first time around when we faced them in week 5, but now we're at home. They were at home when they beat us, and it was just because I made too many mistakes. And now I'm at home versus them, and I'm not gonna make those same mistakes. That was my only loss of the season so far, because my team right now is 8-1, and like I've been on a 4-game win streak since we lost to them, and I was on a 4-game winning streak and was undefeated until we faced them the first time in week 5. So we on another 4-game winning streak, and we finna face them for the second straight time. But as long as my team makes it to, I'm not trying to have the perfect season. As long as we make it to the playoffs, it's all right. I don't care how many losses we got, as long as we make it to the playoffs. But once the playoffs start, I can't be losing the playoffs, because playoffs is one and done, you know? So that all my horrible games and losses happen right now, if they sure happen. Because I think that was the only team that scored over 40 points, and they scored 53 points, so I believe my team's 42 or something like that. Yeah, I think we only had like 42 or something. They beat us by at least 11, I remember. Yeah, they beat us by 11. We had 42 to their 53. Yeah. Well, I had a ton of bad plays. I think they got a safety. I'm not sure. But I know now how to keep certain things from happening and what plays I should go with and what times I should go with. I shouldn't go with the play I think is going to be there, because if it's not there, then, you know, I was making a bunch of dumb throws and stuff like that that end up being intercepted. And, like, the game did cheat me a couple of times, because there's a certain play I go for where my receiver is always open, and I'll pass it to him, and every once in a while he'll pop the ball up in the air. It only happens with me with the ball being popped up in the air, and then somebody's always there. There's always a defender right there who just automatically catches the ball and goes back the other way with it. So, yeah, we talk about a bunch of stuff. Oh, I'm on the right thing. So into the next one later, and those are possible things that'll be coming up. I'll probably end up doing at least 2 parts for the Custom Robo V2 game, because I got a ton of tournaments that I gotta get done with that game. I'm not even halfway done with it yet. I'm in the middle part of the game, but that's not even halfway done with it, because there's still like 4 tournaments to my left, and then there's another 4 tournaments ahead of me. Then I gotta do this one tournament that's right here that leads into another 4 tournaments. Then I got one more going this way. Then I got my final 3 tournaments at the very end. So there's still a ton of gameplay for that. So altogether, that's 4, 4, 5. Then that one would make another 1. So altogether, that's 14. And then I got, I believe, 3 more after that. So I got a total of probably like 17 tournaments I gotta finish. And we're already done with 16 we already done 16 tournaments. So I got 16 more tournaments to finish. Either 16 or 17 more tournaments I have to do for that game. Alright, so this has been the end of AOS Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 for a while. If I do upload or record any videos, it's gonna be for the rankings for what happens after the rankings for after pay-per-view number 5 and pay-per-view number 6. Those are the only videos I'm gonna be recording for a while, but I still got to upload everything that happens before, you know, pay-per-view number 5 got started, and that is the Fight for Gold. I mean, the Faction of 3 championship crowning tournament. So until the next video later, and once again, as always, hope you're enjoying your life and the rest of your day or morning or evening or afternoon or night. And until the next one, later.